Now, this is another American folk tale, and it's about Emmet. Now, once there was a man out wandering, and he was way out in the country, and he was looking for a place to sleep for the night. Now, the problem was there were no towns, and there was no hotel, and no place obvious, but he saw a little house near the edge of the road. And he went over and knocked very politely on the door of that house. And behind the door of that house, he heard a whole lot of racket. And the man opened the door from the inside and said, "Good evening, mister. What do you want?" And the traveler said, "Well, I was looking just for a place to sleep for the night. Do you have some place I could sleep?" And the man said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but my house is real small, and as you can see, my wife and I and all of our kids fill it up pretty well." And he stepped back, and sure enough, the whole house was full of children, either sitting still or running back and forth. "But," said the man, "there's the big house up on the hill. Now you could find a place to sleep there, but I gotta warn you, that house is haunted." "A haunted house? Oh, that won't bother me. I don't believe in ghosts and such anyway." "All right," said the man. "You go on up there and I'll bet you can find a place to sleep, but don't say I didn't warn you about the ghosts." So the traveler went up to the top of the hill, and there he found the house. It was big, and it was all dark, like nobody was there. He knocked anyway, just in case, and nobody answered the door. So he pushed the door open and walked inside, and there he went in, and there was a big room with a fireplace, and he thought, "I'll put myself a little fire in there to warm myself up and then go to sleep." And so he built just a small fire in the fireplace. And as he warmed himself and thought, it might be time to get myself some sleep, and started to unroll his bedroll, he heard a rattling sound in the chimney above the fireplace, and scratching and yowling, and down, bouncing by the fire and out of the fireplace, came a big black cat. Its fur had been scorched a little bit by the fire in the fireplace, and it glared at the traveler and said, "You're the one who built that fire there. You wait till Emmet gets here." And the cat went over and licked its scorched fur and glared at the man some more. Well, it was a cat. Maybe the ghost of a cat, but it was still just a cat. And he started to lie down on his bedroll, and there was another sound, bigger, yowling, screeching down the fireplace and out. And this time the cat that came out with its tail scorched was the size of the biggest dog you ever saw. And it was mad. "You burned my tail. What are we going to do about this one?" it said to the smaller cat. And the smaller cat just said, "Well, just wait till Emmet gets here." And they both sat there glaring at the man. Well, the traveler was a little bit nervous by this time, but he thought, it's still just a couple of cats, even if one of them's kind of big. And there was another sound. This time was scratching and clawing and growling down the chimney into the fireplace and out as the little fire there burned the tail of a black cat the size of a tiger. And it growled at the traveler and looked at the other two cats and said, "What'll we do with this one?" And the small cat said, "We'll just wait for Emmet to get here." And by this time, the man was really scared, and he didn't want to get the cats upset. And he said, "If you'll excuse me, I have something to say. I don't think I'll wait for Emmet." And he ran out the door and down the road. And the cats all glared at him from the inside of the haunted house. And as he ran past the little house with the man and all the children, the man called out, "I told you it was haunted," and closed his door and went back inside. But that traveler, he didn't stop running till he got to the next town. And he tried to tell the story about the cats. And do you know, not one person believed him, because they didn't know anyone named Emmet. And that's the story of Wait Till Emmet Gets Here.